All right, for the last time ever, welcome back to the AMCMSV Show. Um, it is finals week. It is Friday, a day late. We're about 22 and a half hours late. So take it with a grain of salt. As always, I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Matty Pincus, Matty Ice.
Welcome back, everyone. Wanted to throw out this little special episode, one more during our finals week. Really send it off. I'm just, I'm excited to be here. It's been a great time in the sports world, as you all know. But Adam, how you been doing on your finals?
I'm good. Finals are over. Did my last thing this morning. Got here a little early on a Friday.
Congratulations,
dude! It is an insane feeling. So we have a bunch of stuff to talk about today. If the show goes over 45 minutes, I'm sorry. I thank you for listening, but it's the last show. Why not go a little overboard? So what are we talking about today? I was really hoping that today we would wrap up. Like, we would have known the results of both of our hockey series by now. I can't believe the Canes lost last night. Now we're going to Game 7. We'll get to that in a little bit. Rangers are one game away from elimination. That game is tonight. In the Garden or in Pittsburgh?
Oh, this is in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. Come home for the Garden for Game 7 if they make it. Man, oh man. The Mets are rolling, but right now all of our attention is on hockey. You want to start with the Canes? You want to start with the Rangers?
You start with the Canes.
All right, we'll start with the Canes. The number one seed overall in the East. Arguably like one of the fastest teams in hockey. One of the best coached teams in hockey. They cannot win a game on the road. If their life depended on it, they could not win a game in Boston. It was physical. Every way you want to describe it. We shut Marchand down for the first two games. Then Marchand is Marchand when they're in Boston, but he's a little rat when we're in Raleigh.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Canes completely dominating the series against them. I think it was 3-0. Maybe they were losing for. I don't think they were losing at all in 3 regular season games against the Canes, plus the first 2 games in Raleigh. Man, just like, I don't know if you could win a Stanley Cup without winning a game on the road. Like, you probably could be able to, but eventually you're going to drop a game at home. Like, it's going to happen. I don't care how electric your arena is. I don't care, if you're playing in Denver and you have the altitude advantage. Like, everyone's going to lose a game at home. It's just how it works. Canes cannot lose this one at home. That'll be Saturday at 4:30. Man, I'm kind of down bad about it, to be honest.
Hey, the Rangers are in literally the exact same position. We're going back to Pittsburgh tonight, and hopefully our Vezina finalist goalie, wakes up a little bit. I can't figure out who to put the blame on. Everyone looks so slow. They looked a little bit better last night. They really popped off for 3 goals in 2 minutes, and then go down the other way, and Gensel scores again, ties it up at 3, takes all our momentum out. We looked absolutely dead for a period, a period and a half, I think.
It was a period and a half plus. Like, it was basically the last 5 minutes of that period. It was just until then, but yeah.
But 3 goals, our 3 best shifts in a row, all goals. Last one, Jacob Trouba sniping between the 5-hole with the backhand. That was so funny. I enjoyed that one a lot. But they come down, and honestly, it looked like a softie.
I think you know who to put the blame on. Exactly. And maybe it's fair or foul, the blame, because he was so great this season, but almost unexpectedly great, and it's like water always finds its level. I mean, he played like this for, was it 82 games? He played really well for most of the season, but if everyone turns back into a pumpkin at some point. The Canes are kind of having that issue, with Anderson. Anderson's out, so Ronta, their backup goalie. I mean, listen, he's a backup for a reason. it is what it is. And even when he was hurt, they had their third string goalie for a little bit, and it's just like, and I know we're deep into a hockey season. We're obviously into the playoffs. Like, people are banged up, stuff gets physical. I guess my biggest complaint overall, and this goes for every single hockey series, but especially the Canes and the Rangers one, is that there's been a lot of penalties. And I was listening to Whitney talk, Ryan Whitney talk about it, Biz Nasty talk about it, and it's just like, when you think of playoff hockey, you're thinking of 5-on-5, like for a good 52 to 54 of the minutes. Straight up, I'm not worried about power plays, and because it's hockey, like everyone's physical, like especially playoff hockey, everyone's like different. But I mean, there have been more penalties in the Brewers Hurricane series that I remember in many regular season games. It's just like, what are we doing? Tips the ice, and I don't know. We're kind of all over the place, but
yeah, no, definitely. Yesterday, first 30 seconds, Trouba gets an elbowing, Kreider gets a hooking, bang, 2 men down.
Exactly.
A minute into the game.
Exactly, and that's just like, that's not playoff hockey. That is not what hockey fans want. That is not what casual fans want. I mean, goals are up, so I guess the league is probably like jumping up and down, like woo, like we're finally getting some scoring. But I don't know. You want to win, fans. You get it in the regular season. You want the best hockey team to win, and I'm not so sure we're getting some of those results. Listen, if you want to look ahead, Colorado just dog walked Nashville, swept them. The only sweep. Every other series has been competitive. I don't know what that means going forward, but
I think they play the winner of the Flame series.
Yeah, I mean,
not 100% sure. Let me look that up.
So it's just like, it's playoff hockey. It's playoff hockey, and I really thought that at least by our last episode that one of our teams was going to advance, or we're going to get a result. Like, we're still both in the first round.
Uh-huh.
We've been doing playoffs for 2 weeks now.
So Colorado is playing the Blues, who just beat the Wild. That game last night, 4-2. And then the winner of Calgary, Dallas plays the winner of the Oilers and the Kings. And then
That'll probably be the
we'll play
Oilers.
each other if we advance. And then I don't know. This Florida series is very interesting.
I'm very surprised by that. I know we were kind of talking about this, like who we rather play. If we would rather play the Pittsburgh or
the Capitals.
And we were both pretty convinced on Capitals. Now I mean, listen, it's easier to say the Pittsburgh's kind of having their way with the Rangers right now, but I don't know. I mean, listen, if we're gonna, not that the Rangers season is over yet, but if it ends tonight, like, how would you say the season was? Success, failure? Like, looking back on it as a whole, obviously it's gonna be a dagger to lose in the playoffs and get eliminated. Everyone knows that, but like, from where you thought, like, what were your early season expectations? Because we weren't doing this show in October.
No, I thought they were, at least going to be making a push for the playoffs. If missing it, maybe missing it by like a couple points, nothing big. But it's a really weirdly structured team. We do have a lot of young guys, and I think that some of the positives coming out of this season is Alexis Lafreniere had 30 points this season. He looks alive in the playoffs. Next year, who's to say he's not going to score at least 30 goals? Cabo Caco finally getting a little bit healthy. He also looks good. The best thing that's happening right now is the best thing that could have happened this season. That our kid line of Lafreniere, Cheeto, and Caco are our best line. Now that sucks because Kreider had a 53 goal year.
Career year.
Vetrano has an insane shot. Mika Zibanejad has really been getting on my nerves though. That guy is just a power play merchant. Just sits there waiting to hit that OV one-timer and does absolutely nothing.
Like, brother, you are not Ovechkin. I'm sorry to tell you that. You are not the grade 8.
But, Panarin is Panarin. Fox is Fox. Honestly, Fox and Lindgren, Lindgren hasn't played a couple games in this series, but they were looking very shaky. They couldn't figure out Crosby in the beginning of this series. But, now they're starting to play a little bit harder on him and Gensel, who has 7 goals. Absolutely crazy.
In the series?
Yeah.
That's insane.
But season expectations, they're about met. I would have wanted Lafreniere to play a little bit better than he has during the regular season, points wise. But we're stepping in the right direction. Next year, we're getting this kid Brennan Offman, who has 56 goals in his WHL or wherever he is. He's going to slot right in there. We got a lot of guys coming back. Sammy Blay got injured in October or something. I haven't seen him since like the first 2 months of the season. Loved him. That's another guy we're getting back. We're probably going to be losing Strome. I would like Kopp over Strome, but we'll see what happens.
Jury's the guy? Chris Jury?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our GM.
We'll see what he does.
Strome's UFA this off season, so he's going to want a little bit of money.
He's going to get a
I
bag.
don't know if the Rangers are going to be able to pay.
Well, he'll get a hockey bag, which is not even close to what they deserve. But that's the season 2 of the AMCMSV show discussion. We're still in season 1. We need to get greenlit for season 2. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll do a little bit on the Canes. Now, early season expectations for them was I wanted them. They needed to be in the Stanley Cup championship, or at least in the Eastern Conference Finals, which they've made before. It's the team needs they need a few more I guess goons is the word. They need a little more toughness. We're seeing that exposed in Boston, where they're not being able to kind of steer the momentum of a game on the road. The crowd is electric for them in Raleigh, but it kind of seems like maybe they're feeding off that energy a little too much, or what the deal is. They definitely need someone. I really, 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 really hope they win in Game 7, because that would get sent home in the first round after the way the regular season went for them. It would be unfortunate.
Be a tough one.
Be a tough pill to swallow. And then with that, it's the question is what do they do with D'Angelo? And he's gonna get money. He deserves money. Will the Canes pay him? Who will pay him? Unless you're Philly, New York, or that's basically it. Those are the only 2 markets that I would say probably don't want D'Angelo based off of their history and his history. But listen, he found a great city in Raleigh, great team in the Canes. They all seem to rally around him. Let him put his personal issues aside and just play hockey. And he's been a gift for this team for real. So we'll see what happens with that.
You think he would take a little less money to stay in Raleigh?
I don't know that yet. I would say if he had been here for more than a year or 2, maybe. But now I can just see him being I'm a great offensive defender. I can go on any contender team and make them better. I'm not going to make them worse. I don't know. I'd have to wait for his exit interview and see how things go. What he says to the media after they win or they get eliminated. If see where his head's at. We'll see. I mean, hockey is the most loyal of all the sports, and where people are going to be willing to take a little bit of a discount to stay. It's just not necessarily his home. He's a Northeast boy. Even though Raleigh and North Carolina are getting a lot of the Northeast transplants, it's just not the same. People like the weather. I mean, I don't know how people like New York weather, but listen, I've been here my entire life, so I obviously don't hate it as much as I claim I do.
He's a New Jersey kid.
Yeah, he's a Jersey boy. Listen, if him,
let him go rot on the Devils. No, I like D'Angelo.
Yeah,
not with the D'Angelo slander as previously referenced, but I think he's just playing insane for the Canes this year, especially in the playoffs. That goal he scored the other night on the power play.
Yeah. When he's on, he's on. I mean, the way he can, he kind of floats around that top of the ice, right inside the zone. He'll find an angle to get a shot. His shots get through.
I feel like he's more Adam Fox is mainly a passer, but I feel like Tony D'Angelo in that way has a better shot, more like a Cale Makar.
Yeah, and listen, and him and Slavin on that same pairing for the power play and on their first pair, that's they both can, not only take a good shot, but they're going to find the open guy. D'Angelo's putting up crazy numbers this series as well. If only we had a guy like Svechnikov to score goals in games that mattered. Guy's been MIA for, the first 5 games, scores 2 goals, Game 6 when they're about to lose. Like, it was the only 2 goals they scored. Whatever. I could get upset about him forever. What else? So
Gotta give the young boys a chance.
yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Yes, I understand that, but at some point, like when you make your mark as like a goal scorer, like I'm gonna need you to eventually score goals. But listen, that guy drops bodies. He's had some crazy hits this playoffs, all clean.
The Hampus Lindholm one.
Yeah, exactly. Like that hit would have defined a series if the Bruins weren't able to, win all 3 at home and force a 7. So a series does not start until someone loses at home. That is yet to be done in this Canes-Bruins series. Even with everyone injuries, all the goalie substitutions, Swayman's playing now. He's been on fire for a guy that didn't play much in the regular season. That's hockey for you. That's hockey.
One matchup I want to talk about real quick. The Lightning and the Maple Leafs has been a crazy series. Other than obviously the Rangers series, this is the series that I watched the most games in, and it's literally just up and down. Maple Leafs 5-0 the first game. Lightning score 5 the second and win. Maple Leafs scored 5 the third game and win. Lightning dropped 7 on them and then 4 and then 4 again. But, this is going into Game 7 in Toronto, 7 o'clock tomorrow.
There's a lot of pressure on those Maple Leafs.
Austin Matthews is going to be feeling it tomorrow. But that kid is an absolute stud. I have, I'm not a lover of the Maple Leafs, but I do love Austin Matthews, so I do like to see him succeed. And also, I hate the Lightning. So it's like a win-win for me. Austin Matthews, absolute. I just love watching him play hockey. Like, I love Connor McDavid, but Austin Matthews, just the way he works around the offensive zone, just to get his shot off, bro. That curl and drag that he does.
So I think I'm out on the Lightning, but I also am in love with the narrative that the Leafs can't win a playoff series. It's been since 2002, I think. So that's 20 years of not winning a playoff series. I think I want to say the original 6, Toronto. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's original 6.
Best thing is they've made the playoffs at least the last 5 seasons.
Exactly. Like they've been had every opportunity to win one. I guess in terms, but if we're in the actual trust tree, no one's listening, circle of trust. I get their uniforms confused all the time. They have the same colors, blue and white, the Lightning and the If I'm flipping through channels quickly and I stumble across that, I'm like, whoa! Is this the green and white scrimmage? What are we doing out here? Yeah,
definitely insane series. Another good one, the Oilers and the Kings. I just like watching Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid is awesome to watch. He's a freak. He's so fast. The way he moves around the ice is just absolutely ridiculous.
I'm very excited to see Colorado. I think Colorado's my pick to come out of the West. I'll say this, and now they'll lose to the Blues. But I don't know.
Colorado's the way they handle their first series is just incredible. Yeah. So it's hard to at this point. It's hard to pick against them, especially the way every other first round has gone. Only 2 out of 8 teams have advanced, right? 2 out of 8, yeah. So, and we're basically 2 full weeks in. I think there's 3 Game 7s or.
There is 1, 2, 3 at the moment, and then all the rest of them are 3 too.
Right. So exactly. So you're already locked in for 3 Game 7s, possibly anywhere up to 6 Game 7s, which is crazy.
If I was somewhere in the NHL in the higher ups,
maybe
I know basketball dabbles in this dark arts a little bit. But, pick some favorable refs.
Maybe in this Toronto office, make a call.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we're going to get anything in Toronto. The Rangers never do, but I don't know. That's going to be an interesting one. Lightning overtime winner? Possibly. That would be insane.
That would be wild.
To be in that building and just feel the sadness.
Oh. Listen, you know that feeling. You were at you were at Game 1, and that wasn't even elimination exactly. Yeah. So, all right. Anything else in hockey? I'm sure we'll come back to it.
Let's go Rangers, baby.
Let's go. Go Rags, go Cans. Give me every game. Oh my God! If the Hurricanes are in the Garden, whew, I'd be in a lot of games. My wallet would be hurting. Well, I'm getting like mini anxiety thinking about that. Like I know I have to go, but like man, I'm talking like round 2. Like you're probably like $350 a ticket. Like sorry, Rachel, you're going by yourself. You gotta find your own way. What was I gonna say? Listen, before I get into the Mets minute, I just wanted to. I went to get coffee this morning. I had to be on campus at 7. Be on campus at 8:30. I left my house at 7. I got Dunkin' this morning. Last day of classes. Last time I got to come to Mount St. Vincent for a week, but technically for good. They hand me nice coffee. See this? No straw. Me, so early in the morning, didn't think to ask for a straw. So I've just been, waste of plastic, just popping the top. Just taking a sip, and that will. And listen, last Friday on my way down here, I got a ticket for my last class at Mount St. Vincent. I got a ticket that was stupid, and then I got no straw for my coffee today. It's like whatever. I don't know. I had to. It's a few Fridays. Man. All right, into the Mets minute. The last Mets minute of the year. They won their series this weekend with who'd they play yesterday? They played the Nationals. Man, oh man, that team is they are bad. Mets took 2 out of 3. Few notes. Juan Soto, Nationals player. One of the coolest players to ever watch play baseball. Guy's got a sweet swing, crazy stance. Literally just drops bombs all the time. Hits nukes, lefty. He got decked by Taiwan Walker. That was cool. But, I mean, listen. Yeah, there was a little rundown. He got football decked, like ran over by our pitcher. Listen, yeah. With the Mets, I am in the camp with the Mets where I obviously love the start. They were the first MLB team to reach 20 wins. They are having phenomenal starting pitching. They're hustling. They're putting the ball in play. They're doing everything that you do to win old school baseball games. They're not living and dying by the home run ball. Like they're 10th in the National League in home runs, which is low. They're in the bottom third in that aspect. So, I'm slightly concerned about Starling Marte's average. It's dipping low. DeGrom, we don't know when he's coming back still. We're still probably, a few months without him. But we're in May. We're in first place. We're 22-11, so something like that. They're in a good spot. I mean, there's not much more for me to say. I am getting, as we progress later in the season and the Mets continue to stay good, I continue to get more and more nervous because now there is like real chances that this team will break my heart in August or September, and that would kill me inside. Unless something drastically changed from now until August, and we just kept we still haven't lost a series. That's incredible. I don't know how long that will go on for. I'm sure it'll change eventually. We've split exactly. It's baseball. There's 162 games. You play God knows how many series a year. I eventually hope that they, I hope that they can obviously win them all. But if we finish May strong, great June, great July, All-Star break. What happens at the All-Star break? Are we going downhill? And then I just hate having expectations set so high and then not being met. So, listen, coming into this season, I would have told you I would have been happy with the playoff berth, like a real playoff berth, not like a one-and-done wild card game berth. Now I am expecting to win the pennant. I want the National League Championship. I want to be in the World Series. So I just the great thing about doing these episodes is I'm gonna have a time capsule to look back on and be like, wow, the Mets were so good in May, like when I was still in school. Yippee, hee hee, I get great podcast segment like content. No, and then when we're done with this, I'm gonna be like just pacing up and down in my room, throwing a hissy fit when they can't get through the first 2 innings without allowing a home run.
How's Scherzer been playing?
He lost his first start in 22 starts. That dates back to last year with the Nationals. Wow. So he is an absolute psychopath, and I love it. He got ejected from a game he wasn't playing in because he was yelling at the umpire over balls and strikes. He is the most locked-in player I've ever. Like sometimes, like a lot of times, pitchers when they're not pitching, they're very like, you know, they're goofing around, they're hanging out in the the clubhouse, dugout, smiles, like they're chatting up to other pitchers. Maybe they're in the bullpen, like kind of staying out of the way. This guy is on the front step, locked in, barking at umpires. He calling things out, talking to Showalter. So definitely the veteran I want on my team. They gave him a lot of money. That's if they win this year, nothing else matters. You could have another 10 bad years, and I'll be okay with it. Because the money you have tied up in some of these guys, but give me one. Just give me one. Give me one.
That's all anybody's looking for.
Yeah, man. Like, I just want to be a winner one time in my life. Like, sheesh. We're about a half hour in. Maybe this will be a normal episode. We don't have to go crazy long. We both do some work to do. All right.
Kafala, baby.
Kafala. Let's do
a little top five.
Let's do our top five, and then we'll do a little extended top five. Maybe we'll do a few honorable mentions for that. So our top five this week. By the way, in case you guys can't tell, we didn't do any script this week. At this point, episode 11, we know like what we're talking about. We know the show, but we weren't sure what time we were getting in the studio this week, like what we were gonna record, there's a lot of logistics. It was finals week. So we decided, as we walked in here today, our top 5 memories at Mount St. Vincent. It'll be like kind of a joint list. We'll go back and forth. I would assume that you're going to have a lot more than me because you were on campus a lot more than me. And
I think we got a unanimous one.
We have a unanimous one, and we're going to start with one this time because it's unanimous. And it's the only one that hasn't actually happened yet. It will be graduation. Walking across wherever we walk across, I think the Great Lawn, that's what they call it, right? Yeah. On Saturday. Friends and family there with a mask on.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that, Joe.
Someone, do I want to do this right now or no? Matt, do we want to do this right now? We didn't wear a mask for the last 3 months. Like, why now? Why? Like, and especially because
I mean,
there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people coming on campus. I understand that. You got some old people, like you got grandparents, and my grandmothers are coming. But like, man, I thought we were over the mask down here. Like, that was just a deflating email to read. Anyway, we will be graduating a week from tomorrow, May 21st. Yeah.
Hopefully we get a good day. I'm really praying it's a nice sunny day.
If we have to go inside and actually wear a mask all day, I will not finish my sentence.
Yeah, but that's going to be an absolutely great time, finishing out these finals. I have a final on the last day. Now, the way my schedule worked, I really have one class that I had a final for, like a written final. So I've been sitting here this whole week doing absolutely nothing, honestly, like little tidbits of work that I have to finish up, but for a majority of the time I'm sitting relaxing, playing some video games, and
honestly, that would be on my list. Like this last week, just doing nothing, playing PS5 in the dorms.
No, it's definitely been a good time. Catching up with some of the friends that I won't be seeing as often. It's a little bit of an emotional time. Living with I basically lived with my lacrosse team for the last 4 years, so made some really good bonds there. Never had a brother, but I got 6 or 7 here, and it's a little sad to leave, but it was a great 4 years. As we're gonna reference in this list, it was a great time. I enjoyed every minute of it, but it's time to move on with our lives, get into the next step, and
start making some money.
Start making the boosh.
Life starts. Yeah, nothing quite like teammate, family. Like, obviously your family is like different, and you don't choose them, and all all those cliches. But like, your teammates, like people you go to war with and stuff. Like, even though you're not actually going to war, it's just the expression. But just like, you go through the grinds with, especially. You're the first one to tell me this. You guys weren't maybe the most talented team. So like going through, losses like that and becoming stronger. It's like, it's all like cliche, kind of like garbage talk when you don't want to hear it. But like that's about how you become a better man and like a better human being and like, or whatever gender you identify yourself as, being on a team, like dealing with. You remember, yeah, exactly. It's just like, and that's stuff that carries over with you in life. So. Not losing obviously sucks, but there are some positives taken away from it.
Yeah, that was one good thing. In my high school, it was Staten Island lacrosse. It's not the greatest, but I played on a pretty good high school team. We wound up Staten Island's not a huge lacrosse community, but it's so tight knit in Staten Island that really everyone knows everyone, and those games matter so much more than, the random games out in, Bronx Science, anywhere out there, and just outside Staten Island. Some of the city teams were very good, but, those Staten Island games meant a lot, and my senior year, we wound up sweeping Staten Island, besides the Catholic school teams.
Of course, those don't count.
Oh, Farrell, man, gets us every year, but, it was great, to go out like that and then come into a totally different environment at a much higher level of play and, playing with some of the best kids I've ever played with. It's just, I wouldn't give it up for the world. I chose this school for a reason, to come down here to play lacrosse, be a little far away from the family, but close enough where I can go, get a nice Sunday dinner, get some laundry done. But,
it's all about Sunday. It's all about Sunday dinner, for sure.
Love that.
Yeah, so that was one. I guess you want to do number two?
I'll give two a shot. I didn't really. I'm gonna piece like two moments together because we do only have, 5 on this list. But, my first win here. No, not my first win here. But the first win ever on Marillac Field for the men's lacrosse team came my freshman year. We played a team called Albertus Magnus.
Yep.
It was just an absolutely insane game. One of my good friends, Frank, wound up breaking his jaw that game.
Sheesh.
Took a shot to the side of the helmet, broke the helmet, shattered his jaw in 3 places. I've never, you really sometimes, like in sports, you have that moment where you're really playing for someone, like a teammate specifically, where the whole team is really just, turned it up a few octaves and, you're really going on all cylinders. And, it was so sad to see, what happened on the field. But, he walked off the field, gushing blood out of his mouth. We're in the
poor
huddle,
guy.
And this kid gets up from the bench where all the trainers and everyone's, like, freaking out. And he walks up to us and says, "I took that like a effing tank." And now, that's his nickname. We call him Tank. And, that just, I've never felt more hype in my life. It was just absolutely insane. We wound up winning the game.
Hell yeah.
I had 9 points. My boy, Pat Nagy, with 11 points in the game. It was a huge margin. That was probably the biggest that I've won, even in, high school. But that was an absolutely great moment.
Just running it up.
That first win on the field. And then this year, getting our first conference win in 8 years at Purchase. It was supposed to be a home game, but, the Marillac Monster was not treating us well that week in practice. So we decided to go over to Purchase. And an overtime thriller, Jacob Cochran absolutely torching a corner in double overtime with like 5 seconds left in the game.
Man, those feelings must be a little electric. I've never been a part of something like that.
All-time moment. But that was just, those are the on-field moments that I'll never forget. I have so many off-field moments with these guys on the practice field, but those are two that really like sum up what we did here at the Mount. Making some history. Taking a program that was, not very good, making it, getting it better, stepping stones. Now we have the right people in place, and it's only up from here. And, I'm really proud of everything that we've done here in the 4 years. And, sky's the limit for this team now.
Sky is the limit. I think, all right, so we're at number 3 now, and I'm going to speak for you, but you can tell me if I'm out of line here. I'm going to say finishing senior seminar. Oh. We took it at different times. I took it last summer. I took it in fall 21. But like, it's the biggest class you take as a communication major. The biggest class at Mount St. Vincent. It's your capstone project. It's whatever you want to call it. It is your masterpiece. It is the most work you will do in a class. It was, for me personally, took the most effort out of all 4 years in college, and and then maybe times 2. I'm not a bad student. It was a struggle bus. So I think you did this week or last week. You did your presentation.
Yes,
you turned in your paper.
Last Monday.
There is nothing quite like handing over that paper and giving your presentation to your class, sitting back down at your desk and be like, wow, it is over. Yeah, so, if you're a comm major, good luck with it. I hope, comm junior, good luck with it. Have fun.
Get ready to do some
work. And my advice on this will just be, don't procrastinate on it. Try and make progress each week, because when it might seem like, we only have a meeting this week, we don't have to do any work. Get some work done. Use the class time, just all that stuff. But yeah, so I'd say that's 3. Pushing in being done with seminar.
I gotta say, I want to speak a little bit on this topic. Do not procrastinate any of the juniors here at the Mount that are comm majors. I'm a big procrastinator. I've done it through all 4 years of college. But, this is one thing that, technically, if you want to say I really didn't procrastinate too much, but, like Adam said, you get those weeks where it's just a meeting, you go through whatever assignment you had to do a little bit more than that, maybe write a couple of paragraphs a day, just chip it down.
Yeah, exactly. Make chips.
20-something page essay, what is it, 15, 16 pages of writing itself, and then you got your graphs and everything. But get on your research early, figure out what you're going to do, get a plan together. It makes it easier in the long run.
Find a topic you like too.
Oh,
so because you're going to be spending a lot of time, you're going to be reading thousands of pages about it. You just gotta thousands. No, I think thousands isn't the stretch. High hundreds, low thousands, but you have to be invested in it. You have to do a lot of research on it. You're going to be thinking about it, talking about it every day for the entire semester. So 15, 16 weeks of that, just be prepared. And then you got to do the presentation too. Presentation is another, 25 minutes where you get to sit up there and talk, and it's a long prezi.
Yeah, but I wound up, writing. So you really know how it works. I wound up doing interviews. So you have to, to do your content analysis, really get your findings and everything together for the paper, which is, that's the biggest part of your paper. I was not even cleared until the Friday, 3 days before basically when my presentation was. So, I had a steep road ahead of me. But, I had my senior game on Saturday. Sunday, I wound up not being on campus. So I really, pushed in everything on Monday. I wrote 11 pages of the paper. I wound up, putting the computer down at about 2:30 in the morning on Tuesday. Waking up at around 7:30. Toss and turn in. I only wound up getting half an hour of sleep. Wake up, did all 20 slides of my presentation, finished out editing the essay. I was absolutely dead by the time I got in there. We had to dress up nice, so I was feeling good. After I finished that presentation, exactly what you said, Adam, when I sat down.
It's wow, I am done.
I was so sleep deprived, but the high of finally finishing this class not only put me through the rest of the day, but put me into tomorrow or the next day. I went to go see the Ranger games that night, and I went into triple overtime. I was at Madison Square Garden from 6 o'clock to 12:30 at night. I don't know how I stayed alive, but
the adrenaline.
It was the high from finishing that thing, and then the
playoff
high of
hockey.
Playoff hockey really pushed me through, and I just wound up getting my grades. I got a 90 on the paper, 87 on the presentation. And
Bada bing.
God bless. Finally, I was done. Do not procrastinate, though, please.
So that was 3. Senior seminar. Four. I mean, I have one more for myself, and that is, it was actually, the feeling happened about I don't know. We started recording 40 minutes ago, so about an hour ago. I finished. I turned in my last project. I am officially done with schoolwork. Once the podcast, obviously, and it was an important class for us this semester, 3 credits. So, I mean, I don't really count this as doing schoolwork. It's obviously schoolwork. It's required for school, but it's much easier, much more formal, much less formal, much more fun. So, but yeah, man, I just turned in my last presentation Friday morning. Luckily, we didn't have to dress up for it. You can tell I look like a slob. Yeah, man, just like being done with schoolwork, like just finishing 4 years of college is just, it is crazy. And I guess my last thing is like, yeah, whatever. I'll wrap it up at the end.
But yeah, I haven't had this feeling yet, but I had
your last written test.
I
wish it. Yeah, once you're done with that, like you won't need to drink for a week, smoke for a week, do anything. You should be like living off that high for all next week. It's gonna be great.
I'm very excited. Obviously we had our last actual classes, and that was a great feeling.
Yep, that was last
I
week.
ended up having a presentation on that day, so getting out of that presentation, I was just walking around campus, just looking around, and I was like, wow, this is the last time I'm gonna be hustling to a class. Already 10 minutes late, sprinted up some stairs. Last time I'm gonna, sprinted up some stairs in Founders Hall where it's 300 degrees every day of the year.
You would have thought that they
sweating, bullets, out of breath by the time you get in there, and especially when we're wearing masks. That was absolutely awful. I know you saw me running into Rosenberg's class last year, absolutely heaving in the back of the class. Rosenberg probably heard me, but thank God that's over.
God. I'm going to go honorable mention because it's not worthy of being on the list, but like getting that email that we don't have to wear masks in class anymore, that was a great feeling. That was brutal, a little, especially with the glasses, man. It's just like, you fog everything up. You can't see, like, it's whatever.
I'll just jump into the number 5.
Yeah, you got a 5. I'm.
It was a hard one to pick, but thinking of like quality time spent with like my teammates, all the 6 a.m. practices that we had to endure, the 7 a.m. runs in fall ball. Obviously, absolutely.
Don't let
sucked.
Fitz hear this.
Absolutely sucked, but that time is just. It was such a weird time. Waking up so early, being there with all your brothers, absolutely freezing in the fall. Running these train runs, couple miles around Sharp. Not the specific running part of it, but it was always the time after, leaving practice or, going back to the dorm, showering, and then, everyone's up. It's like...
Yeah, you have your whole day ahead of you. It's just
most of us didn't have class till like 10 or 11, so we really just like sat in each other's rooms and really just hung out from like 8:30 to probably 12, 1 o'clock every day for like a straight 3 or 4 months whenever we had those practices. But, also getting up and getting that exercise early in the day really gets you going, really gets the blood pumping.
You don't feel like a piece of shit every day. Yeah.
8 o'clock classes. My
Teach.
senior year. Oh, imagine if I had 8 o'clock classes my senior year. No, my freshman year, just, actually being awake, paying attention to the teacher, not being a zombie. All-time great feeling.
Freshman year felt so long ago. Holy.
You know what? There you go. There's another honorable mention. The freshman year feeling, just getting away from the parents for the first time, really figuring who you are as a person, getting out there,
finding new friends, meeting new people. All right, I guess that will be 5. I guess a few other honorable mentions I will do or talk about is getting inducted to the Honor Society was cool. I got inducted where I was technically inducted last year, but we had a ceremony this year. Like, Pat was there.
My boy Dorian.
Dorian, my boy.
Beautiful suit on for that.
Oh, dude, I was so mad at him. He looks so much better than everyone else. Like, dude, you can't show me up like this. I'm wearing literally a t-shirt and shorts. Yeah, man, my boy Chiarella, like, everyone just kind of, it was just cool. I mean, like, our comm school or department, whatever you want to call it, is so small, so you know everyone. Just like, so being able to see people, you made it through all 4 years, because this school is interesting where there's a lot of first-gen college grads. So, like, a lot of people are going to be graduating college for the first time in their family. So, like, it's be a very emotional Saturday. It's a big deal for a lot of people. Just, like, families in general. Just big week. So, I guess, like, before we, like, wrap up, I just want, I should say, like, in the least weird way to put this, but, like, the comm department's gone through hell for the last 2 years. 100%. Unfortunately, we had a professor pass away, a professor leave. We have people on, like, on sabbaticals. So, like, Kafala, Crownover, Davies, Scolo. But I mean, like, even like Scolo went on sabbatical for a year, and so like Kafala teaching extra classes, Bobby, yeah, all right. So I guess my point was I want to thank a few people. Obviously, Bobby for like 4 years of just like doing everything. He is absolutely the man. There's no one I've met at this school who's like more helpful, more invested in students without being a professor. Like, whatever you need, he'll do it for you. Like, he absolutely is the GOAT.
I call him the Swiss Army knife of the college.
He does of the school.
Of the school, yeah.
I needed to. Last year he helped me out a lot with. He let me use the TV studio to record a different podcast. We're using the radio, the studio this year for this podcast. Just like he's always has a solution. Always knows what to do. Always knows who to talk to, how to get things done. So. Big shout out to Bobby the GOAT. And obviously, Crownover for letting us do this podcast. Without greenlighting our independent study, the AMCMSV Show wouldn't exist. We wouldn't have gotten 3 credits for it. I wouldn't have graduated on time. He passed me for senior seminar. I've taken so many classes with him these last 2 semesters. But yeah, I mean, listen, I just want to, thank all the department people, just because, of course, we can't forget Matt either. He's always, always helpful back there as well. But just like, yeah, I don't know. Thank you.
Quick shout out Kafala. I love Photoshop. Always been a big Photoshop guy. Did a lot of classes in high school on it, and then coming here, I had basically like 4 or 5 iterations of a Photoshop class. Finishing out my last one with Adam and a couple of my other friends. I can't keep saying the GOAT, but the GOAT of the comm department, Kafala, helped me through so much. The audit king. Anytime you needed a class in the comm department, you just had to go up to Kafala.
I have five advisors. Five advisors in 4 years. Yeah, Kafala's always just locking it down. So, just want to thank everyone. In terms of the show, obviously this is our last episode. And we, you guys are watching this now, so we thank you everyone for listening throughout the year. Maybe someone will take it over next semester. We are hoping that 2 prospective comm seniors will take over the show, get credits for it, keep the AMCMSV show alive. That's the best part about the AM is at the dual meeting. You can do it in the morning, or you can have your initials AM. I think we have, we set you up with a good foundation for how to do it. So if you do it, good luck with it. I will be listening for sure. I have my notification set up for this account, so if you do it, it'll be yours. Anything else?
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Dr. Crownover, for allowing us to do this. It was a great ride. As you guys can tell, me and Adam live, breathe sports. It's just great to come in here every Thursday take a little break from all the hecticness going on around school in classes and really just, taking basically an hour and a half out of our busy lives and come down here and just really, rip on the Rangers, rip on the Mets, talk about some sports.
Listen, we get. I mean, I know we're not. We get to chop it up. We get to talk sports for work, for school. So that just being able to do that is incredible itself. So.
Yeah, just what a ride it was. So happy that we got to do this. Such a great opportunity, getting the foot in the door into podcasting, and you never know where you might see us next.
Listen, maybe we do some Zooms. Like, it's the best part about technology now is we can do a podcast from anywhere. But yeah. Thank you again for listening. Thank you again, Dr. Crownover, Bobby, everyone. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of the first podcast for credits on school. We appreciate it. And if you're graduating with us, also congratulations. We will see you Saturday. Cheers. We will see you never.
Never know.
Never
say never.
Never say never. Peace, folks.